What's up guys, B-Train here. Today I wanted to reflect and share on how I got started and some of the things I've learned and some of the mistakes I've made. This should be a fun video and I hope you guys will gain some insight from it. So my journey started when SRPG Studio came out. This was in August 2018. I'm recording this video in August 2024, so it's almost been 6 years, but I figure 5 years sound catchier, so I'm sticking with it. So back in 2018, I made some pretty whatever games in it. It was really fun being able to make a game so quickly and accessible. I wish I backed up those games because some of those ideas were really cool. One of my game idea was where I wanted a thief to break out of a prison and save an important target. For anybody who played my first game, Grey Heritage Faded Vision, that was an influence on one of my chapters. Looking back, I seem to have a weird interest in prison breaks in SRPGs. I love the struggle for resources and the overall setting. For any Fire Emblem fans, it's hugely influenced by the Manster arc in Thracia 776. I also enjoy TV series like Prison Break. So yeah, strange infatuation of mine. Anyways, I eventually realized I wanted to be a game developer. I actually always wanted to be one as a kid, but I guess life happened and I forgot about the dream. At the time, I did not really know what I wanted to do, but there was a strong urge to make games professionally after that. So then I made a lot of mistakes along the way and hopefully you guys will learn from it. My first mistake was that I felt like I should focus on a real engine so that I could do console ports. So I actually dropped SRPG Studio after that and picked up Unity and GameMaker Studio 2. I ended up liking GameMaker more, so that's when I started to learn how to program. I sucked at programming, by the way. I also switched major to computer science so I can learn even more programming in my time. This was probably the start of 2019. My memories is a little foggy since it's been a while. I made this prototype in GameMaker and wrote a story called Jadens Discord. At one point, it was also called Celine Saga. I wish I have an old copy of it, but I don't, sadly. I did share a few screenshots and GIFs on Twitter, which I'll show you. And yes, it had pretty bad programmer art, but it was so much fun working on it. This was pretty much my whole 2019, working on this game in GameMaker. Same time, I was learning how to program in school so I can keep improving the skill set. However, there was a point where I realized I just don't like programming that much. I was more of a game designer and writer than a programmer. Learning how to program was just a means to an end for me. Eventually, I looked at my game and I realized that I just don't have the skill set to actually finish this in GameMaker, so I dropped it. I learned a lot about programming and it felt bad to waste 1 to 2 years worth of effort. But I knew if I kept going, this game would take like 7 years or something. It's debatable if I want to call this a mistake because I learned so much from putting in my time in GameMaker and learn how to program. But the biggest mistake is that I should have kept using SRPG Studio and ignored console ports. So I went back to SRPG Studio and I decided to make a smaller game. I still loved my story of Jadens Discord, but I felt like it was a little too ambitious, so I wanted to work on a smaller game project in SRPG Studio. At the time when I picked up SRPG Studio again, I played the very first Triangle Strategy demo. I was in love with this game. Because it was just a demo, I did not know much of the actual story, which I wanted to keep it that way so my brain can fill in some of the holes. I wanted to write a story about an exiled prince who wanted to create a more democratic system. The main antagonist is more pro-monarchy. Originally, I wanted to have a simple character voting system that lets you move to a branching path. But that got scrapped because I just did not have the skill level and resources to do it justice. Maybe one day I can revisit that system from Triangle Strategy. I'm still a huge fan of it. One of my self-imposed challenges to myself was that I wanted to make the game with minimal programming. Because of my experience with GameMaker, it made me realize that I need to make a good game that's not complex. I feel like my brain leaned more towards game designer, so this challenge actually helped me become more creative to make a solid experience with minimal things to work with. The engine actually allows you to do a good amount of things, but it can be janky if you don't know how to program. So I did it. Around August 2020, I posted my very first screenshot. It looked horrible, but I wanted to document some of the things I've done. My goal was to release a game in under 2 years. Faded Vision development started around July 2021, and I finished it around October 2022. It released December 2022. I'd love to go into more details about Faded Vision's development cycle, but that's pretty long, so that's for another video. I have plans on doing a post-mortem for its 2-year anniversary, so look forward to that. Anyways, I built a small team, I built a modest following on Twitter, and I climbed that steep mountain and released a game finally. Faded Vision looks like a simple game, but I still poured a lot of blood, sweat, and money into it. And the results was great. I'm not like buying a car or anything, but I learned a ton, made some money from it, and I can officially say I'm a commercial game dev. So was it worth the 18 months of development? Definitely. This is why I advocate that devs seek these types of projects early. Don't get me wrong, there were so many things I wanted to do but had to compromise to hit my deadlines, but I gained so much from doing it. Near the end of Faded Vision's development cycle, I started to work on my original game story again, Jadens' Discord. I had to make a lot of changes in the script, but some of the characters and themes stayed. I felt like the title, Grey Heritage Jadens' Discord did not make much sense. So the title changed to Grey Heritage Noble Duty. That's right, that's the game I'm currently working on right now. So from late 2022 to now in summer of 2024, I've been working on this game. The time frame is longer than my Faded Vision development, but some life stuff happened and the project became bigger. My goal is to finish Q1 of 2025. So far, I'm still on the right track, so I like to think I'm pretty good at keeping with my deadlines now. This will be slightly over 2 years since FE came out December 2022. I don't really count the Jadens Discord days, even though I probably should. And that's it. I'm still living the game dev life, living that dream still. Some key takeaways for you guys is this. 1. Focus on what you're good at. I should have stuck with SRPG Studio because of this. You should still try to improve skill sets you suck at. In my case, it was programming. If I sucked at programming, I shouldn't have picked up Game Maker as that took over a year of my life. My strengths were game design and writing. Outside of game development, I consider myself pretty good at marketing and project management. Lean in on what you are good at and find people who can help you. 2. I did not go over this as much in this video, but try to keep an income. Game development is expensive. Having more money is better than having less money. You can never have too much money in this industry, but you can have too much time in it. Also learn how to make good financial decisions on your project so you can make your money back. Look deep inside yourself and think, would paying for this make my money back? It's much harder to predict this if you haven't released a game before. You learn as you go and understand the market even better. 3. You should focus on smaller projects first. And I don't mean pooping out a game over the weekend or a few months, okay? This is really common advice that I just don't agree with. I'm talking about 1 to 2 year projects. It should still be a good value game that you do not half-ass on. The point is that you can learn how to finish a game and adjust what you are capable of. I had to make many cuts because I was just not skilled enough at the time. Learn where those weaknesses are and then work on it for your next game. When you do finish those games, then you can consider doing those 3+ year projects. Alright, that's my game dev journey. I really hope you guys gained something from this video. I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned from it and became a better game dev because of it. If you guys want me to clarify anything or want to share your experience, let me know. Thank you. Hey, if you guys want to support the channel, make sure to wishlist Grey Heritage Noble Duty. It's part of the Grey Heritage series that I've made in SRPG Studio. If you guys want to play a released game, I also have Grey Heritage Faded Vision. Make sure to check those out. Links is in the description.